Hey guys, welcome back to According To. I'm Megan.
And I'm Ciera, and this is our first episode that we're recording after our 26th birthday.
We're
so
26 now. We're in our late 20s now.
So naturally, we wanted to do an episode kind of related to our birthday. And I don't know if we've done an episode like this before. It's entirely possible we have. But we're jumping on kind of like the bandwagon of doing 26 things we've learned in 26 years. And because we have the benefit of there being two of us,
and we don't have time. We don't have time to list, 52 different things. So, I haven't seen your list. I sent my list to Ciera just so she wouldn't double dip and we'd have some different things to talk about. But I'm excited to share just what things we feel like we've learned or things that are important to us at this point in our lives.
Yeah. Obviously, I'm sure if we sat here long enough, we could have thought of a million other things. But I feel like I have a good mix of things that are both lighthearted and things that are also actually meaningful.
Before we do that, we are going to do our weekly spotlights and then our book updates. Also, this upcoming Saturday is our book club podcast for Not Quite Dead Yet by Holly Jackson. And then we are getting ready to start our September book club here shortly. So if you guys have not checked out our virtual book club, it's linked in the description. It's $2.99 a month if you so choose to join. It gives you access to our private group on Fable where we interact and kind of read through the book at our own pace, as well as you either get access on Spotify Premium if you choose to subscribe to there to see our kind of monthly recap at the end, or if you subscribe on Patreon, we post the link on there as well. So just wanted to shout that out again.
Okay, so is your spotlight birthday related? Because we might just be doing a birthday recap. Okay, my spotlight is birthday related, so I'll let you go.
And if you're a viewer and you have eyes, you've maybe noticed this, but over the past 2+ weeks, I have literally been like a shell of a human because of my allergies. They've just been particularly bad, and
me too. I feel like I still sound stuffed up a little bit, but I'm also improving. But
so I have just been struggling with stuffy nose, congestion. My asthma actually has not been really worse per se. Eyes so red, so irritated, so puffy, and going to sleep every night instead of being a nice amazing oasis, I was dreading going to sleep every night.
Then it's waking up, you just know,
and I wasn't getting a restful night's sleep, and it just was not good, and I didn't feel great going into work every day feeling and looking sick. And then I'd feel better throughout the day, but I still didn't look great. When my allergies are bad, you can tell. I wear it on my face. Anyways, and so knowing that, I'm just I was pulling out all the stops that I knew how to pull out. I was doing Claritin D, Sudafed. I was doing the neti pot to help with congestion. I was doing any and everything I possibly could. I even purchased these warm heated eye masks to help with puffiness and stuff. Anyways, 2 weeks of this going on, and I felt like I was getting no closer to feeling any better. And I also, I coincidentally also had to do some COVID testing for work just because of a patient being sick with that. So I knew it wasn't that. And also I can tell allergy symptoms apart from other things. And I also was I don't think this has become a bacterial sinus infection or anything, because I wasn't having it headache, congestion, or any other things related to that. I was this is quite literally just my allergies and they won't go away. What do I do? So I wasn't going to the doctor for the longest time. And then
you and I were we won't go to the doctor, if we can help it.
And then I was kind of I'm getting desperate. We were also dog sitting for Maggie this past weekend, and I had the worst night's sleep I've had in such a long time when I was spending the night at her house, and I woke up no less than 8 times probably, and I was just I cannot do this for another night. And being that we were turning 26, I was if I want to go get this figured out without having any I insurance hiccups, I need to go today. I went the day before our birthday, and that way I could still use our mom's insurance. I don't really know I still have to sign up and finish getting my work insurance set up, because they don't let you do that early, surprisingly.
You're stupid.
So I'm sure there is a way for me to go in still if I needed to, but I just did not want to have to deal with that. So I was I'm going in today and we're gonna see what they say. So I go in, and the person who was there basically confirmed what I suspected, which was that just allergies really bad right now. But she did give me some oral steroids to help kickstart my healing. She also suggested I use some Flonase, which I have used in the past, but I just like have not been. And then she gave me a prescription for triamcinolone, which is just like a steroid cream to help with like the skin stuff going on. So I've been on that regimen for like the past 3 days, and like
she's a new woman.
I'm a new woman, and like the last 2 nights of sleep that I've gotten, I've just been like so grateful for. So that's my spotlight.
You truly, when you are sick for whatever reason, you're like, I had it so good and I didn't even know it. Like, you're like, once I'm healed, I'll never complain about anything again. And then you heal and, naturally you return to your cycle.
I just am hopeful. Like, I'm really hoping that, like, once I'm out of, like, the steroid stuff, I just hope it can stay, like, at bay.
Because I started getting symptoms of, like, worsening allergies, I think, a little bit before Megan. And granted, I'm still, like, kind of stuffy, but I also feel like within the past 2 days, like, I have noticed a significant improvement where I'm not.
I told Ciera to start using the Flonase at least. She doesn't have, her oral steroids because she didn't steroids.
But I have been stealing your triamcinolone for, like, I have some, like, mild eye dryness. But I was waking up with, like, a god-awful, like, sore throat because of, like, the post-nasal drip that I was getting.
Sore throat I haven't really been having, which, thank God.
Which is, like, so uncomfortable, obviously. And then, like you said, as the day would go on, like, I would get a better hold on my symptoms. And, like, my nose wouldn't be as runny. My sore throat would go away. And then, like, I just go to bed and repeat the whole process all over again for the past 2 weeks. So it has not been fun. And I'm still a little bit stuffed up, but, like, I think I'll be over it in, like, a week or less. And, like, I'm sleeping much better and I'm not waking up with a sore throat. So, like, that alone is much improved.
Okay.
Do you remember, hold on, sorry, going back. Do you remember we had COVID on our birthday 3 years ago?
True.
That was awful.
You know what's funny? It must just be, that's obviously related to COVID, but like it must be like end of August around our birthday. Like that must just get worse for whatever reason, because like whenever I got my updated driver's license, like my eye is like red and swollen in that
photo. Oh, really?
It's like, I don't think it's like that obvious in the photo, but I know it is. And like when I was there, the person was like, do you have allergies or something?
Oh, no.
I was like,
right before they get ready to snap the photo. Yes, I do.
So I just think it's a yearly reoccurring thing, unfortunately.
But I remember always feeling sick on my birthday.
Anyways.
Anyway, okay. Do you want to do book updates and then we'll just go into like birthday weekend recap stuff?
We can.
I have been going
go ahead.
so slow. I'm currently reading East of Eden. I don't know if I need to take a break or whatever. I heard so many great things, and I have heard so many great things about this book. It's a classic. It's by John Steinbeck. It's supposed to be a modern day like retelling of, I don't know if it's all of Genesis or just like Cain and Abel's story, but it's supposed to be like two like twin brothers, or maybe just two brothers that like kind of reflect the relationship that Cain and Abel had. I saw Matt King, talking this book up. I've seen so many reviews being like, this book changed my life. And I'm like, wow, it's got great reviews on Goodreads. Obviously, it's a classic. And so I was like, maybe I need to.
Well, you know what else is a classic?
What?
That one classic that I bought that I never finished.
Oh, Crime and Punishment?
Yeah.
So I think I'm currently on chapter 9. I'm also like using the audiobook, because I have like an Audible subscription right now that I just like am kind of keeping up with until I feel like I want to pause it. And I'm like just not sure. Like I keep having to look up being like, I thought the book was about these people and I haven't even heard of these people yet. Like
interesting.
And so I like went on Wikipedia. It's like the first 14 chapters covers the backstory of these 4 characters. And then I'm like, I'm just confused right now. So I don't know if I need to pause and step away. I don't know if I need to just DNF it. I mean, I should finish it at some point because I did, use the credit to get it on Audible. But I'm wondering if I need to, like, bring another book into the fold to either
not
read alongside of it or, like, take a break and then go back to it at some point. But I'm not loving it. And I fear I was on track with my reading goal, and I think I might be slipping behind at this point. So that's where I'm at.
Okay. I just finished reading Promise Me Sunshine a couple days ago. It's by Ciera Stitz. I gave it 4 out of 5 stars. I thought it was a pretty good book and I enjoyed it. I thought in some ways it was kind of like similar vibes and setting to The 7-Year Slip, just in the sense that I felt like there was a good mix of like focus on their relationship, but also like a lot of other characters and storylines. And I think like that takes place in New York, correct? 7-Year Slip.
I think so.
This also takes place in New York, so just like settings were quite similar. I still like the 7-Year Slip more, and this wasn't like a 5-star book for me, but I certainly thought it was good and memorable, and I'm glad I picked it up. So maybe you would enjoy taking a gander at some point.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm currently reading this. Hold on, it's
So
one of
many
the
words
fantasy
in
books
one.
that I. It's so many words, and I can't remember. The Fallen and the Kiss of Dusk, and it's the 4th book in the Crowns of Nyaxia series, and this is the 2nd book in the duology that follows. I say Misha, and I know that's right, and then the guy's name is either Asser or Asar. I'm not sure. And when I started reading, I was kind of like, dang, I do not entirely remember what went on in the last book. And so these 2 books, like in this duology, I will say are just like a little bit more complex and complicated, I feel, than the first 2 books in the series. So I still enjoyed the last one, but I don't like it as much as Rain and Array's storyline. So I just had to do like some revisiting and kind of like getting myself settled at first. And now I feel like I'm on a little bit better of a path. It's still kind of like there are lots of things happening that like I don't fully understand.
Yeah.
But that's probably going to be how it is. And we move forward.
Okay. So those are book updates. Now we'll kind of get into our birthday weekend recap, and then we'll go into our list of 26 things that we've learned. So we'll start on Friday. Friday was the 29th, obviously both working a normal day. And then my boyfriend, Andrew, sorry, I'll just say his name. We had already
retrain yourself.
Yes. We had already organized that we were going to do dinner and stuff that night. And then like Megan said, we were both like watching Maisie, which is her dog, this weekend. Maggie's dog. Did I say that?
We said it earlier, but
and so you might be thinking, why not just bring Maisie over to our house, which was I think our initial plan, but then Maggie had said that they were crate trading her, and we could have brought the crate over here, but knowing my dog, Vegas, there's no way that he would go to sleep if another dog was in the house, like in its own crate. Like he just wouldn't do that. So we opted to just like separate watching her so that someone would go over to Maggie's house mostly at night just to watch her, and then like during the day she was over here over the weekend and like playing with Vegas and stuff.
they got along great.
They did.
I think will have many more playdates in their future.
Yeah. I think Maggie, because she's home now, and she said like, wow, Maisie's so tired. Was she playing with Vegas? And we're like, yeah. And so Maggie can now see the benefits as a dog owner of getting your dog tired so that they just like are not, running amok everywhere. So
Vegas right now is sleeping.
yes. So Megan decided she would do Friday night, and then
That was
Andrew
my
and
worst
I-
night's sleep ever. But yeah.
Andrew and I went to dinner, and then he came over here, we hung out, we watched, or at least we started watching Thursday Murder Club, which came out on Netflix.
Oh, I knew that was coming soon.
You did read that book, right?
I did.
I honestly was like, I don't even know what happened in this book. So then like, I don't even know if they kept the plot the same as in the book or if they had like modified it at all. I thought the movie was okay. Pierce Brosnan is in it, and then a couple other people that I didn't know or recognize.
There's so many books in that series now.
There
I
are.
feel like.
So I thought the movie was okay. Like if you're wanting something to watch, it was like a pretty short movie, like less than 2 hours. A nice little whodunit. I will say it was funny because it's set on, like, it's in a retirement community and it takes place in England. And granted, I don't know what retirement communities look like in England, but like this retirement community in the movie was like a castle. Like it was so nice. It was like everyone's apartments were like just large estates, almost giving like Only Murders in the
That's
Building
what I was
vibes.
wondering.
In terms of like what the apartments looked like. So I was like, wow, comparing this to like what I pictured when I was reading this book, this is like totally not the vibe. But it's fun. So what did you do on Friday? Anything notable when watching Maisie?
I was kind of messing around with some computer stuff, and that's all I recall. I think I just had like Psych on
What'd you
in
do
the
for
background. My dinner,
Oh, yeah,
I
you
stole
did.
ramen from
Ramen.
Maggie. Yeah.
Because I was like, did you do anything fun? And then I remembered you were going to do fried rice, and then I remember you saying you ended up doing ramen. So then come Saturday,
I woke
Megan
up
wakes
bright
up.
and early
She's
Saturday.
like, Ciera, are you up? I need to go to urgent care. I need to drop Maisie off right now. So
Basically, But I waited to text you a little bit because I was trying to be respectful. I didn't text you until like 8, but I was up at like 6 that morning because Maisie wanted to get up. I felt horrible, so I was like, well, I'm getting up too, because actually I did go back to sleep a little bit on the couch, but I was just like having a rough time, and I was like, I need to go to urgent care immediately.
So Megan came over, dropped Maisie off.
And that was an ordeal. Oh my goodness.
To
my urgent care thing.
Oh no, you didn't drop Maisie off, right? Because we went.
No, I
got
left her.
Okay, yeah. I'm like remembering now.
I was like, I need to go to urgent care, which I had looked up. There's a place we usually go for urgent care that I thought was also open on the weekends, because like I swear I looked it up. I need to like look it up again just to like show you I'm not crazy. I looked up the building and I was like, yes, this is the building I need to go to. Perfect. I drive out there. I see as I'm pulling in, like, the parking lot is empty. There's not a single car there. So I'm like, they're obviously not open. I double check. I found a different thing saying they're not open. So I was like, what the heck did I look at? And then I did some Google searching and I found a different place to go to. So I skirted over there. I pull in the parking lot. It's like 9:30ish at this point. I go in. They're like, did you make an appointment? And I was like, no. And they're like, we could get you in at 11. And I was like, awesome.
You're like, what happened to urgent care?
Put my name down.
Wait.
Put my name down. Then I went back in my car for a little bit, and I was like, I could go home, but I was like, just didn't really want to, like, even though it wasn't that far. So then I went to Target to kind of look around a little bit. Then like by 10:30, I just went back there. I was like, maybe they'll be able to get me in soonish, and they maybe got me in a little bit sooner. Then I went to my appointment, which took like 15 minutes, and then I went back to Target because I had to go get my new prescriptions, and yeah, that was my ordeal.
Backtracking a little bit. So since Megan left Maisie at Maggie's house, Andrew's over here, and we were like, okay, we'll just go do some things. I think we got Starbucks, and then we're like, then we'll go pick Maisie up. And so we had to wait for Megan to come to our house first, because Maggie's garage door doesn't work. And so she had a garage door opener that we were like switching back and forth. So Megan comes over, she drops that stuff off, Andrew and I go to Starbucks, we pull into Maggie's driveway, and then I'm like, did you grab the garage door opener? He's like, no. And I was like, well, I didn't grab the garage door opener. So we back out. We have to come all the way back home, which is literally not that far from Maggie. We live like 5 minutes away. Get the garage door opener, go grab her, and then we bring her back to our house. And we have Vegas, Maisie, and then Andrew's dog all running amok around the house, tiring each other out. And then also, I was going to talk about urgent care for a second, because when I told Andrew you're going to urgent care, he was like, she's going to urgent care for that? And I was like, which is funny to go. Well, hold on. It's funny to me because he's such a hypochondriac. Like, he goes to the doctor like so often.
He would have been to the doctor a week before me.
So then I was like, where's she supposed to go? It's Saturday. Like, urgent care is where you go when the doctor's office is closed. Like, she's not going to go to the ER because that's overkill.
And what'd he say?
So he was like, I guess. But I don't know. He might be listening to this. I'm like, surely you've gone to urgent care for your minor symptoms that you have had. So I just thought that was funny.
Yeah. And then football season has officially started. So obviously it was also game day. So Iowa, for whatever reason, did not play until like 5 o'clock at night, which is so
it was very jarring, because I looked at the time expecting to see 11 a.m. like surely, right? And then it's 5
thank God
p.m.
not, because then I could go to urgent care.
Yeah, actually that's true. So Haley had organized, like, she invited us and our dad over to her house to watch the game. They have a nice setup in their garage, and a lovely evening, I must say.
And our dad brought like a birthday cake for Ciera and I. We kind of did like a little birthday celly, a minor one.
Yeah.
But
that's like basically what we did last year too. Except last year was on our birthday, the game. And then
I mean, it's always around our birthday when football season starts.
I mean, unless it's during the week.
Yeah, true.
So did that. The cake, our dad got a huge cake. Not like huge, but it was like a sheet cake where it was like 9 by 13, and we were like, we are not all eating this. I was stuffed from the pizza we had, and then I had one slice of cake. I think everyone had one slice, and then I'm sure half the cake was left, but I think he took it into work, so it did not go to waste. And
Hawks won. Can't complain.
Yeah, I'd be curious to see. We play Iowa State.
Guess
next
what though?
week.
I see nothing of. Our brother-in-law said that one of our players broke his arm, and I be looking everywhere.
She can't find it nowhere.
All I could see was that, as far as confirmed thing, was that like he came back out in a sling, and I double checked and I was like, "Did you just see that?" And he's like, "No, I saw someone say he broke his arm," and I still have not seen something saying he broke his arm. So
we'll see. After the game, back to the Iowa State thing. So Megan's going to the Iowa State game for sure, tailgating for sure, going to the game. And I am TBD, probably not going to the game, maybe tailgating. I haven't yet decided. Mostly because of Vegas, I need to figure out if I want to do anything with him. Otherwise, I could just go to Haley and Ashton's house and watch the game with them next week. Is it? What time is the game?
11.
Okay. I don't know. We'll see. What was I going to say about
Mom
that?
was texting me, though, because I think we're driving up with our Uncle Jerry, and, like, he's wanting to be
He's like an early riser right now.
out of... I don't know if she said he wants to leave by 7 or be up there at 7. I have to check. He wants to be up there around 7.
I mean, I know it's an early morning when you're going up there with Jerry, so
I'll be rolling out of bed at, like, 5:30.
like, that makes me less likely, like, wanting to go.
But I'll sleep on the
But
way
we'll
up.
see. I'm going to be curious. Do you know what who's predicted to win right now? Who would you guess? I would think Iowa State would be
Iowa
projected
State.
to win.
Yeah.
And they very well might. Like,
And I don't want them to.
they definitely, I didn't watch all of their game of them playing against, was it Kansas State?
South Dakota.
In Ireland?
They've had a game last week.
Okay, well, who'd they play
Kansas
in
State.
Ireland? They did pretty well then. How'd they do last
South
week?
Dakota,
Yesterday.
they
2 days ago.
won like 55-7.
So, like, I mean, we'll have to see.
But
We'll have to see. We have a new quarterback this year. He is of South Dakota State fame, national champion. And, I mean, he did okay. Like, I'm not overly impressed. I'm not, overly concerned at this point. I just feel like, I would love to see, like, some magic happen at some point, and I'm not seeing some magic. We did have our second string come in for a little bit because our first string was having, like, cramps. So that was interesting. We'll just see how it plays out next week. I'm, curious. It's going to be in Ames, so I saw someone post somewhere, you'll have to correct me if this is wrong, that Iowa has not lost in Ames since Barack Obama's first term.
really, that's promising.
So over 10 years, like, let's keep it up.
Keep it up, guys. No, I was just thinking, I've gone to...
Can you think of a more satisfying game than when we watched Iowa beat Iowa State, like, at the very, like, last minute?
Probably.
And everyone, like, all the Iowa State fans are, like, high-fiving each other, like, let's go grab another beer, head inside, celebrate.
That's
And then,
kind of what happened to us last year, though.
I know.
A little bit. It's kind of just how these games go.
But that was so satisfying. Anyway, game is over. We leave Haley's house. Then it was my turn to watch Maisie. And she, again, it was like a combination of, she was getting up, whining, wanting to go out, not doing anything, even though I was like, girlie, if you're whining, we gotta pee or poop. And what was annoying is that, this brought me back to my dog training days with Vegas when he was a puppy, is she peed pretty often, but I was like, she hadn't pooped in like 10 hours. So I was like, surely if she's whining, she might have to poop. So then I felt obligated to take her outside. And had she pooped, like in the first 1 or 2 times I had taken her out, I would just ignore her. Because I'm like, every puppy is capable of, like, holding it. Granted, she would have already gotten, so, like, she wouldn't be holding anything for, like, a few hours. Well, no, she didn't poop until 6:30 a.m. when I took her out for, like, the 5th time. So it's like every time she's whining, I'm like, maybe she has to poop. I should take her out. And so she'd just be kind of, most of the time, wandering around.
Yeah.
And then I was like, okay, I scoop her up. She'd always find, did you notice she'd find these things in the yard?
Yes.
That were like, I don't know what it was.
These, like, branch-like things.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what that is.
As soon as she started walking over to those, I'd be like,
Throw 'em.
get out of here.
Yeah. So that was not my best night's sleep, but we prevailed. And then I woke up and it was my birthday. So birthday, came back over here, got some Starbucks, of course. Andrew brought over some flowers for both of us. I don't know if you saw the second set of flowers, technically for you. But he didn't like bestow it upon you or anything.
Okay.
And then we didn't really have anything planned except for an escape room.
I went and like worked out and just kind of like I did grocery shopping. Like I just kind of like we have our usual like Sunday errand stuff
you're
that
like,
I was
"It's gotta
like
get
I gotta do this stuff. So that's how I kind of started off my morning to like just get things going. And then we did the escape room that afternoon.
New escape room place unlocked. Escapology in Clive is, I don't know how many rooms they have, but we just did a Scooby-Doo themed room, and which is weird because like the last room that we did was like a Scooby-Doo one at a different place, right?
Was it?
At Breakout. Remember the Haunted Mansion one? That was like, oh no, it was Clue themed actually. Okay, so I'm totally just lost. Do they have? Now I'm curious if they had a Scooby-Doo one because I for sure thought there was another Scooby-Doo one somewhere. You guys, if you may or may not know, Megan and I are kind of escape room aficionados. Like when they ask like, oh, have you been here before? Like, have you done an escape room before? We're like, yeah, we've done an escape room or two. Like at this point, how many would you guess?
50.
Like that's insane. That's
Like,
more
probably.
escape rooms than anyone in their life has ever done.
It's,
or needs to do.
I don't know, maybe not that much, but like when I tell you like we've done a lot.
And this room, we kind of killed it. So it was me, Megan, Haley, Ashton,
We probably
and
haven't
Andrew.
done 50. That's probably an overestimate.
But we've done a lot. 30. Right? Like for sure 30.
I feel like probably.
So, I mean, we didn't need any hints. I think we got done with like 15 or 20 minutes left in our time. And like I felt like there was never like one moment where we're totally stuck. We like we need this key for over here. We need a 4-digit code over here. We need to get these pieces for this. Like it was just, I love when an escape room is still challenging where it's like you're not just like, this goes here and this goes there and like, it's like child's play. You're like, I know what we need to find. Like I get how it all makes sense. You still feel like smart when you have those moments of like figuring stuff out, but like it's all very doable and you can like see how it connects and see the big picture. That's my favorite type of escape room. I hate when it's like something so like you needed this random word over here to like, do this thing. Like I don't like those types of rooms where like anything is fair game. And I thought this one was very well done. The room itself, I always like a nice design, some extra rooms. It had both of those. Can't complain.
All right, I think it's time to dive into our lists of things that we've learned at 26 years old. So I anticipate we'll probably just go back and forth and do it that way.
Yeah. Do you want me to go first?
Sure.
My first one is you're capable of more than you think. I feel like specifically this year, I've already talked about my half marathon, like, at length, but I've always been like, oh, I'm not a runner. Like there's no way that I could ever do something like that. And I obviously did. And with like the proper training and preparation, I feel like there's so many other things in life that like I've previously written off that now I'm like, okay, maybe not. Maybe like if I want to prove to myself that I can do it, like I just need to set aside the time and plan and actually do it. At this point, I can't think of anything necessarily besides a half marathon. Like, could I do a full marathon like as a goal? That could be a thing, but I don't know. I don't know that I necessarily want to do a half or full marathon. At this point, I'm like, oh, I could. I don't know if I want to. Half marathon, I was like, I could never do a half marathon. And then I was like, okay, yes, you can. So I think like that mindset shift has been very nice.
My first one, we're starting off lighthearted for my first one. Doing your hair will make you feel more put together and just
This
like
is so true,
a
though.
new person.
Like outfit, makeup, hair every time for me.
Same as well. I am someone who I have just kind of discovered, like probably more so like through undergrad. Actually, here's the thing. I used to be like, I always used to do my hair in like middle school. I feel like I was like straightening my hair every day, and it's like okay,
What
wow.
business did
Why was I doing
13-year-old
that?
you have to do that?
Granted, I guess I felt put together, so like makes sense. But then high school, like didn't really care as much, and like I really just kind of went with my natural hair, and like that was fine, and that was okay for the time. But then through undergrad and then like PT school, and just like really I've been pretty consistent with like pretty much trying to style my hair as often as possible, and I just really feel way more put together. I feel more confident. I love having my little different blowout or hairstyling options to just kind of like have at my disposal to like really, make it as easy as possible for me to get my hairstyle. So like obviously like my go-to is if I'm done showering, like doing a blowout either with like a like wand thing or like my Shark smooth style, or I've got like the air wrap stuff as well. Like either of those are kind of like ideal, but then it's like sometimes I'm lazy and like that doesn't happen. So then we've got like the thermal brush. I can do that the next morning on dry hair. I can curl my hair. Like there's just different options. Or I've got kind of like my cheat sheet ways of like I'll quickly blow out my hair, but then like I can sleep in something overnight to like make it a little bit more styled. And if I was really good at hairstyles too, like I would be a fiend with like also incorporating that stuff
bubble
as well.
braiding my hair, blah blah blah.
But I like as of right now, I'm only really okay with doing like just straight down hairstyles.
Do not know the person I would be if I was someone who like was like an updo type of person. Like I don't know who that girl is. I don't think
You
I'll ever
used
meet
to be
her.
a half up, half down girly.
I did.
All day,
that was
every
like
day.
a pretty popular trend. I feel
know.
like generally though. I also don't hate how I look like with a half down. I just don't know if it's like not necessarily that it's a trend because people still do wear that hairstyle, but like for me, I think I was definitely jumping on the trend. I don't know that I would jump back on it now. I will say for this, I've noticed like looking back at videos, like just since we've vlogged all the time, like if I'm watching a vlog where like my hair is just like natural, which like this sounds bad, but like I'm like, she looks kind of like she rolled out of bed. Like I just don't look, you know, like I look my best. And so I just like having, you know, like you said, the opportunity to like make myself feel and look my best, you know, as often as I can. Do I do my hair every day? No, but like I try to do it, you know, like you said, so that it lasts a couple days. Or, you know, I like wear my hair up differently now than I did when I was younger because I feel like it looks better the way I wear it now. So just like trying to say what is the best way for me to like look and feel my best today. What do I need to do to my hair? Okay.
Yeah.
Next one is the relationships you have with others are life's greatest joys. I feel like, I don't think you had anything similar to this, but like genuinely if I can think of like the thing that makes life worth living, it is my relationships with my friends and my family. And like, what do I need to do like throughout the week to like get to see those people?
Yeah.
What do I need to do to like organize a time for us all to get together? Like, you know, those things that I look forward to, whether it's trips, whether it's, you know, football game get-togethers, whether it's book club, it's all because of the people that I'm with.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's like, again, another reason why I don't think I could ever, at this point in time, move somewhere far away.
That was
because I'm like, because my people are right here.
As I was coming up with this list, and this wasn't really going to be a bullet point of any kind, but I just like in being self-reflective, like many people kind of like urge just anyone in general to like go outside of your comfort zone, like move away from home. Like that's a very common talking point. And I see the benefit to that. And like Maggie did that, for example, and like she was away and didn't live at home for 2 years.
And I think she would say like she learned so much about herself. Like I don't know that she would necessarily, Maggie, you'll have to let me know. Would you say everyone should do this, or like are you just glad that you did it? Like I don't know. I think it's very personal.
Like just as you were saying, I think about that and I'm just like, I'm sure you would learn a lot having to kind of like fend for yourself in a new environment and like learn how to start from square one. But I have such good roots and people here in Des Moines that like it would really bother me to not be able to see those people with the frequency and regularity that I would want. And I just feel like I would definitely have FOMO by not being here.
I mean, I even like, whether it's, I mean, you like living at the lake and me living in Cedar Rapids is like a very small example of like what that could look like. But I'm just like, I am all by myself. Like I hate it here. So yeah, the people that you surround yourself with are like the most important thing, I think.
My number 4, I guess I can say, establishing a healthy relationship with working out has kept me healthy and happy. Ciera and I both really value our maintaining as healthy of a lifestyle as we possibly can. Obviously we grew up doing gymnastics and being active that way, but even kind of towards the end of high school, like I would say our dad especially has like really set up just a good example of like kind of being a
more like an expectation of like, you know, some sort of like health, fitness, working out as being standard. I don't think a lot of people necessarily have that like picture or like reflection of their parents, obviously depending on, you know, what your parents do. But if you don't have that modeled for you where it's like, oh, my dad goes to the gym as part of his routine just to like, you know, stay healthy, stay fit, then like you don't start implementing that yourself because you don't see it.
Right. And so I would say either junior or senior year of high school, Ciera and I got our first gym membership just because like we kind of knew that like as gymnastics was fading out, and also like during high school when we were seniors, like we didn't have full days either, so we kind of felt like I think it was a good use of our time or something to like get more comfortable with.
Doesn't like flashing back to like those days at that first gym like just make you like flashback and you're like, whoa.
But you gotta start somewhere. And so since then, I mean, when I tell you like since regularly working out, like I have not gone, barring like vacations or sickness, like I have not gone definitely more, like I would say no more than 2 weeks without a workout. And even that kind of seems like a stretch to me. But it's just like we've been able to stay so consistent by not beating ourselves up over one missed workout here and there, and really focusing on like the longevity of having it regularly implemented week to week, fitting it in our schedule. It's the expectation.
It truly
it's not
is about getting yourself there. Like, you know, whether you have goals or not, obviously you want to organize a plan that will like help you achieve those goals. But like if it's a lifetime commitment, you can change what you're doing for workouts. You can change how often you're working out. You can change the length of your workouts. Like you truly just need to do like whatever you need to do for whatever phase of life you're in to, you know, find some way, shape, or form to get your body moving on a regular basis.
And I feel like for Ciera and I, you know, 3 to 4 workouts a week has kind of been like the sweet spot magic number. Works really well for us. There's a lot of people who are like gym rats and gym goers where it's like 6 days a week. That's what they do. And if they can maintain that, you know, props to them. But like you don't have to do that. That doesn't have to be, you know, 6 days a week or you're failing.
Maybe you have a weekly workout class you go to and like you start off that one time a week. Like whatever you can do where like you have it just as part of your routine is so important. Okay, next one I have is nothing is as big of a deal as you make it out to be. I feel like, you know, how many times have you been like something's happened or like you're anticipating something and you're like, oh my god, like this is gonna be the end of the world, like how will I ever get past this? And guess what, like I always think like today I woke up and just like anticipated the day that I have today. I haven't thought about anything that happened in the past like that I would have been stressing about, and like there's nothing in the future that could happen that will like, you know, weigh me down for the rest of my life. And so obviously I think stress is a good thing. Like it, you know, if you want things to go a certain way, that's like motivating and can help things go
stress
the way that you want them to.
What's the bad type of stress?
I don't know, actually. I know what you're talking about.
There's good types of stress. Eustress is the good stress, and I don't know the bad stress.
But like I just think it can be freeing to know like life will work itself out. It always has, and it always will.
Distress.
Oh yeah,
I was gonna say that, and then I was like, that can't be it. My next one, this one I thought of this for putting on the list. I didn't use Chat GPT for this list, you guys, because I was like, I don't want to use Chat GPT. I'm already using it too much. This is my thing
I've learned in 26 years.
And this one I was like, this is huge on my list. No one is responsible for your own happiness. I just think like this is one of like life's truest things. Everyone has different stressors. Everyone has different things that like life is throwing at them. And the only thing you can control is how you respond to it. You can't control other people. You can't have other people read your mind. You are the sole person responsible for your happiness. And if you are not happy and things are not going your way, like you need to be the one to figure out how to change that.
I agree wholeheartedly. Next one that I have is having staple meals will help you live life on easy mode.
That's a good one.
Obviously, if you love cooking and that brings you joy and you love trying out different meals, then like hopefully this would just be something that you're like, oh, like I just love cooking, so it's no big deal. If you're like Megan and I, we don't particularly enjoy cooking. We kind of just do it out of necessity of having to live. And, you know, like Megan said, we want to make health and wellness as easy as possible. And so by just having these staple meals that we know are relatively healthy, relatively easy to make serve
grocery
well,
shopping easier,
serve well and reheat well so that we have lunches for the following days and don't need to like think of different lunch ideas,
because that's kind of like our version of meal prepping.
Yes,
because we are like, I'm not spending my Sunday meal prepping.
No, so like we will do dinner and then have leftovers that make usually like 2 additional meals for lunches as the week goes on. And granted, do you get sick of some meals and need to like rethink of a new one? Yes, but like we have 4 or 5 meals, I would say, that are typically on rotation that make grocery shopping so much easier, makes me feel good about what I'm eating on a weekly basis. And like, I feel like I don't have to think about, you know, what I'm eating. And I would just highly recommend, you know, if you don't have meals that you constantly can like remake week to week, I would try to scour Pinterest, scour TikTok, see what you can find.
My next one. Small doses of happiness sprinkled in throughout makes life worth living. I am someone that, like, I need things to look forward to. And in the mundane day-to-day that I'm sure everyone experiences, with just having to go to work or dealing with, like, household stress or anything really, it's easy to get caught up in the monotony of just, like, this is every single day. And it's not very exciting.
Like, this is the rest of my life for 40 years.
So it's all about reframing, on, like, a month's long thing. Like, I honestly like to have a trip, like, every few months. It can be a small trip, could be a bigger trip, but if you're someone who enjoys traveling, something to look forward to and kind of plan for, or just, like, when I have downtime to either, think about what do I need on my packing list? What kinds of things do I want to do on my itinerary? Like, those are exciting things to me that, like, the trip maybe isn't for a few months, but I have fun things related to that trip that I can, like, do and sprinkle in
and, like, help build anticipation.
So that's, like, one example. If you've got a weekly, like, we used to really like going to trivia on a regular basis, and we don't do that as much anymore, but it's like that's a weekly thing that you can kind of put in your schedule as, like, I'm looking forward to going, like, and doing
Megan
this
and I used
one
to
day.
be like, oh my god, Monday night, like, here we go, or Thursday night, depending on which trivia night we would go to. And you guys, we love to talk about, weekday plans and doing something, not just waiting for the weekend. Like, that is so important, so fun.
So again, thought I'd put it on here.
Learning how to move and how to trust your body will set you up for success later in life. This is kind of related to being healthy, but, like, just more so the mindfulness aspect of understanding your body, understanding how it feels.
I think everyone could, like, learn a great deal from, or if you feel like I say what I'm about to say and you're confused at what I'm saying, like, look into this more. If you can't tell the difference between pain, stretching, and, like, just muscle fatigue and aches, please learn the difference. Please, I beg.
Or, like, learning how to control your body, like doing yoga or Pilates. Like, if you don't know how to engage your core so that your back is flat on the floor, like, learn how to do that. Like, I don't know what to tell you, but, like, you need to go to some sort of, like, yoga or Pilates or, like, personal trainer instructor and, like, figure out how your body works and know, when you're doing an exercise, like, if you need to adjust it, like, know how to do that safely. If you, like Megan was saying, like, you just had an incredibly hard workout and, like, you wake up the next day and you're like, oh my god, I'm in so much pain, but it's actually just muscle soreness, and, like, you just need to, like, go through a regular recovery process.
Start associating that pain with, like, pain, because it's not, and then you're gonna start developing, like, a negative connotation to maybe what you did to develop some of that soreness, which I think just is, like, a bad cycle. And I feel like oftentimes, like, I'm constantly, whenever my patients are saying they're having pain, like, I always am, like, trying to get them to, like, reframe it or make sure it's genuinely pain, because, like, if it is stretching,
if I'm pushing on your
care.
Quad and you're like, yeah, that's my pain, I'm like, your muscles are probably sore, and, like, I don't think we need to say it's pain. Like, I understand what you're saying, but it's
like, movement
not,
will probably actually help,
yes,
and not hurt.
And so I just think, obviously working in the field that we do, that's something that I've realized that I'm like, a lot of people don't know how to move their bodies. I don't know, like, what their bodies are responding to,
or, like, they'll no pain, no gain. Like, people will, like, power through when things are painful, and then now they're certainly not helping themselves either. So, like, modifications are key.
So I think the younger you are when you start that, then, like, that's going to just, like, help you live a healthier lifestyle as you get older, but then it's also going to prevent injuries, prevent, like, other negative things happening with your health, so that hopefully you all live long, healthy, beautiful lives.
All right. As you're just done talking about, we've learned this because of work, or we've been more exposed to it because of work. This is number 10, I guess now. You are not your work. I think it's always good to, if you're someone who enjoys your job and you take pride in what you do, which I would say we both do.
Amazing.
That's great. Amazing. I love that for you. But it is remiss for me to say, like, when I'm outside or when I'm not at work, like, I'm not thinking about physical therapy all the time, all day, every day. I don't particularly want to go home and, like, research the best, up-to-date evidence for treating XYZ condition. It's okay to have a life outside of work, and it's okay that that is not your number one priority, because I don't think the main purpose for everyone's life is to work. Obviously, you got to make money out of necessity, but I feel like if you are going and showing up to your job, you're putting in your best effort while you're there, you don't have to, you know, go bear the weight of your profession outside of your work hours.
And like also I just think it would lead to more burnout, like the more that you like carry on your shoulders outside of work, and then it leads to more unhappiness, you know, in your day-to-day life. And then, you know, that's not a fun way to live when you feel like just completely burnt out and exhausted and kind of like at your wit's end with not knowing what to do. Whether like you're like, can I keep working like this? Do I need to get a different job? Like you want to be confident in what you're doing and, you know, show up every day doing your best. But then like when you leave, if you can just leave it all behind, that'd be amazing. Obviously, I know not every job is like that, but I think that jobs that are like that are really, really great. Next one I have is always be grateful for your independence. This was another one related to obviously working with patients, seeing, you know, the spectrum of like, you know, I've seen people as young as 65, as old as 100 with like vastly different levels of independence. And it just blows my mind how like the way that you care for yourself early in life like directly dictates what you will be able to do later in life. And I try to keep that in mind because I'm like, I plan on, you know,
I want to
taking
be
care
the
of myself until
I
I'm in the
want to
grave.
be the 100-year-old who's out here doing a workout class every day of the week. Because I see it. Like, she's not 100. She's like 99. But like, she is independent without an assistive device, going to exercise class 5 days a week.
Like, I just
It's
really is
possible.
like, okay, wow. So never take it for granted, because then you see the people on the other side of the spectrum, you know, whether it's things that they did or did not do in their health, like who are we to know? But like, you know, that's not what I want for my future. So I'm going to try my best to take care of myself now and in the future.
Okay, my next one, buy the plane tickets.
Go book the trip.
I have never once regretted buying plane tickets somewhere. It's always a good time. I think it's a worthy expense, and I can't say investment because, like, I mean, it's an investment into like you and
Your joy.
But I've just always feel like you get a lot of value in traveling and getting away from your day-to-day life and being able to go see new places. So I have never once regretted buying a plane ticket and going somewhere.
Me neither. Obviously, make smart financial decisions, but if you can go on the trip and you want to go on the trip, I say do it. Next one I have is fame, popularity, and relevance are fleeting, and that's okay. Obviously, you guys may or may not have discovered us from our YouTube channel, TC2, and I feel like this took a while for me to like really like digest and like actually accept, you know, when you gain that much popularity like on the internet. It was like relatively quickly, I would say, like between 2014, I think we had 50,000 subscribers. And then like by 2017, we hit 1 million. Like that's pretty rapid growth. And I remember like there's a point in time where I was like, I could upload a video of like a black screen and get 100,000 views. Like, you know, I just felt like, you know, we had so much power on the internet. And, you know, we had our time, like trends change, viewers change. And like, you know, you start to see like that decline in your subscriber count or your view count. And like you hold it so personally.
It really is personal.
So like
and you really only understand it if you've like been a content creator of some kind, where you've like had and tasted the success and the fruits of your labor, and then to all of a sudden feel like you're doing the exact same thing
and it's
just not working.
Off. Like that took a while for for you, me, and Maggie to like all fully accept and digest that, like, you know, is it something we're doing wrong? Like, what do we need to do to like hold on? And like we tried to hold on for like every ounce that we could, obviously continuing to post on that channel until 2021 or 22. I think
21.
And then we decided, you know, like, okay, it's time to call it. Like,
well, okay, 2021, and then like we've posted a couple videos since.
Okay. And like, again, I'm not even saying like that we would never post on TC2 again. Like, I don't like to speak in absolutes, but the way that we were going about it was just like so unhealthy, and like we were just chasing what we once had, and like we had to accept that like that's not going to happen. We had an audience, we had a niche that we filled, and the audience has either grown up or like the trends have changed where like that's not what viewers want to see. But like it took a long time for us to fully accept that and like realize it wasn't like a reflection of our like personalities, like who we are as people. So yeah, but now I can say like the internet pocket that we have now, I feel like we're very like comfortable with.
Yeah. So, and I feel like a lot of that too is like the fact that now we are not relying on like social media for like our money and like financial success. We have careers outside of social media, so that certainly helps to establish a little bit more separation. Okay. My next one is things are not, like, I guess the saying is technically grass is not always greener on the other side. But I feel like, and I was mostly trying to think of like my job, for example. There's just pros and cons to everything. Like at my last job, there's things I liked about it that I can, respectfully kind of realize what I had when I am like away from it now. I can be like, oh, this was better at my old company. And there's things about my job now where I'm like, this is definitely better at this job and this company. But then there's also things that like, new issues, new things arise. Like it's never perfect. And so that certainly is the case for jobs most often. But I just feel like for relationships, it's not always the case. It's just a good rule of thumb. It's like a good check
to be like, you always want what you don't have. Sometimes you get that thing and then you're like, oh, I'm back to square one. Like I feel like I'm still, noticing the same issues, same problems, even though I thought I fixed that. And that also could just be like,
it's also like nothing's perfect
for you.
Like if you're searching for perfection, you're not going to find it.
Okay, next one I have is sports are important.
I wanted to put something on sports too, but I couldn't think of something
to like my phrase. I just love sports. I think sports bring the world together. I took a whole class on like the impact of sports on like human relationships and like political international affairs. And sports are just like ultimately a vehicle for like human achievement, human joy,
a collective culture, and like something to rally behind.
So you could say this about like arts and stuff too. Like I'm not trying to say like one or the other, but like I personally am more of a sports fan than someone who like indulges in the arts. So I just had to put that out there. I think we're also
people that like, yes, we have our teams we root and cheer for, but like I will not, say no necessarily to like just going to a random sporting event just because I appreciate the kind of event and just like nature of a sporting event. And it's always fun to see people, even if you're not a diehard fan of, said team. It's always fun to see just other people experiencing joy and being
This is
happy.
a side note, but did you see Lee Corso's like video like of all of his colleagues and like some family members like for his last thing, like they recorded him and like his reaction to that stuff, and then Kirk Herbstreit was the last one. It was so cute. They're like crying.
Yeah. My next one is reading is the best hobby to have for creativity, escapism, and it's easily accessible. Out of all the hobbies that I've ever picked up, reading is by far the one that I am most happy to have found my way back to, and I just couldn't say enough good things about it. So,
I mean, I would have to second this. I would say that, I've been doing it for, reading was a big thing for like both of us when we were younger, but like we really picked it back up in 2021. And there's always going to be something for everyone, and you'll never read them all. So cue that Rory Gilmore quote that's trending on TikTok right now, where it's like, how am I supposed to read 13 million books or something? You don't have to read them all. Okay, my next one is dogs are man's best friend. Having got a dog. Actually, today, as we're recording this, is Vegas' 2-year gotcha day.
Oh, really?
So
happy gotcha day.
He was my birthday present to myself 2 years ago. And obviously I grew up having dogs, so like I've always known like how much I love dogs. And I did, I appreciated my time like being child free in terms of, not having a dog. But like I just love my little Vegas man. He makes me so happy. He brings joy to my days. And I just think that, whether or not it's a dog or, some other pet for you, like I do think that
companionship is
great. And pets are a great way to have a companion. And they love you no matter what. Like genuinely, if you want, a friend in your life who is not going to get mad at you, like won't hold a grudge against you, like get a dog.
Okay. This one's probably partially inspired by my horrible sleep at the beginning of the weekend, but my next one is do not sacrifice your sleep. I think that, rare off like occasions or instances where you're having to, wake up super early for something, like those are one-off things, that's fine. But just generally speaking, sleep hygiene is so important. There's lots of studies that just like demonstrate the importance of having good sleep hygiene.
Genuinely, like for your health, for your cognition.
Right. And so I am like, I could even do better, but like I would say I'm pretty consistently getting like 7-8 hours of sleep every night. And I've always tried to kind of prioritize. I feel like honestly my sleep hygiene got so much better when we got Vegas, because like that's really when we implemented.
It forces you to get into a routine.
Like when we got Vegas, it was like he would basically go to sleep at 9, and like 9 o'clock was kind of like, all right, thank God we made it through the day.
Like, thank God it's 9 o'clock.
Because like
you're like, puppy, I want to go to bed.
Puppy, dog, Vegas, like any puppy is just like a lot of work. So 9 o'clock was our like saving grace time of like he would go in his crate, Ciera and I were piecing out and going upstairs to our rooms. So I've like continued to implement just like in my mind, like 9 o'clock is like I'm going to bed. I'm going to go and try to read to hopefully fall asleep at 10 o'clock. So like that's really helped me just stay consistent in that regard. I'm also someone where it's like, yes, I try to wake up early in the morning to work out, but if I'm like not caught up on sleep, like I also know when I need to, restructure my day a little bit.
Next one I have is never dive into a body of water. Never push anybody into a body of water.
Yes. That's a good one. Just like good life advice.
Yeah. I mean, I can say like as a physical therapist, I've probably seen maybe like one person that this scenario fits for, like from a clinical standpoint, like not one of my patients that I personally worked too much with, but like also just you guys have heard about this, like it, everyone knows it, but clearly people don't always implement it. And like just do not drastically change your life or risk drastically changing your life
or someone else's life
by doing that type of thing.
Gives me the heebie-jeebies just thinking about it. Okay, everything in moderation. This is a great way to live. This goes to diet, because Ciera and I aren't perfect. This goes to I feel like just about every aspect of your life. If you are not a perfect person, which no one is, and you have certain things or indulgences that you want to partake in every once in a while, that's okay. Just don't go overboard with it. So the best way to, like, I think absolute restriction of stuff for most things, first of all, probably not realistic. Second of all, like, you're probably making it so you're more likely to kind of crash and burn later. So I feel like everything in moderation is a better approach.
I agree. I honestly, like, there are some people who live or try to live like 100%, peak health, peak whatever all the time. I would never strive to that. Like, I'm always striving to be like the person who is doing a little bit of everything.
I'll be pretty good 80% of the time.
Yeah, that's all I need. Next one I have is Iowa is actually a really great place to live. I'm biased. I've lived in Iowa my whole life, obviously. Lived in Des Moines and then went to Iowa City for college, back to Des Moines. And granted, I wouldn't live anywhere else in Iowa except for Des Moines long term. Iowa City was great, but it's definitely more of a college town. So like I was kind of ready to leave when it was time to graduate. But,
So basically Des Moines is a great place to live.
Yes.
Is what I should say.
But like, it is like you get like, a city-ish feel if you want. You get the suburb feel if you want. It's like you have lots of things to do within like a 15-20 minute radius throughout the Des Moines metro. Like there is stuff to do year round. Obviously it's harder in the winter to like get yourself to want to go to do some things. And like, I have a love-hate relationship with like the Four Seasons. That's just a me thing. But I mean, if I didn't like it enough, I would leave.
I was trying to think, this was like a random just like thought I had yesterday or the day before, but I was trying to think of like genuinely like if I had to move somewhere, like where would be like the most realistic city that I would move to. And I was like thinking through, I think I probably would end up like from a realistic standpoint, like Kansas City is probably like what I would say. I know it's not the most exciting thing, but like proximity is still important to me. And I feel like, but like when we were up in Minneapolis, I was like, this is just Des Moines. But like, why would I be just in Des Moines, but like not in Des Moines?
4 hours away.
Kansas City is definitely like a little different vibe. And like other places are just like too far. Or like when I've visited
Omaha.
Omaha is also just Des Moines, but 2 hours away. Or like, you know, I love visiting Florida, but like I'm always happy to leave Florida too. Like there's just like many places that I visit that like I feel that way, and or a huge, like the main thing honestly that I have to consider when I would like genuinely consider moving places is like, am I able to drive here? And so like that takes out a lot of places.
Yeah.
So that itself is
see
like a barrier for me. So that's why Kansas City was kind of the
I agree.
place I ended
if
up
I
on.
had to pick somewhere, it would probably be Kansas City.
Or maybe like a small like lake town of Michigan. That would be a fun vibe. But I haven't ever been to
A
Michigan.
lake town in Michigan, and then the rest of the year just sucks.
But summer would be great.
Summer, you'd be thriving. Okay, it's your turn. We got one more each?
I have
Or do you have two more?
I have 3 more.
Did I miss one? Oh, I did miss one.
You're never too old to learn something new. I think a lot of times people age and kind of like write off what they should or should not do, or just like expectations of what they have for themselves. And I totally think that if you put your mind to it, you can do whatever you want to do. Like there are many resources out there for you to have like a step-by-step guide of basically how to do anything you want. Like crocheting. I haven't done that in so long. But I kind of was always like I would never be able to figure this out. Like I don't think I'd be able to do it. You can. And kind of like you were going to like saying earlier, it's not as hard. Like nothing is as hard as you make it seem. This is also like unrelated, but I just was like, wow, this is like such a good perspective to see. And I sent Ciera a video, and this woman hasn't learned this because she's been camping her whole life, but there's the cutest little woman who has a YouTube channel. It's like Wendy Outdoors or something. It's a name like Wendy. I can't remember if that's what it is, but she just makes videos of herself going camping solo out in the backcountry. She looks like she's like 60 or 70 years old and just like having the time of her life. Again, she said she's been camping like her whole life, so this isn't a new thing she's learned. But like I was looking through the comments in her YouTube videos of like people she has inspired to like take this on as like a hobby, even though they're like 60 years old, they've never done this, something like that before. I just think like what a refreshing way to live, and to realize that you're never not able to do something.
Mm-hmm. I love that. The one that I had skipped over was, this is a lighthearted one. I'll try my best to drink water, but I'll probably never drink enough. And I am just trusting the nephrologists, and it's the nephrologists, right?
Yeah.
That are always like, your body tells you when you need water. And I'm like, okay, I trust you. I'll try though. I'll keep trying to get my 1 bottle in.
All right, we're coming up towards the end here. My second to last one. So this is number 24. You reap what you sow. I think that like I'm not a very manifestation type of person, but this is kind of just like my homage to that. If you're a more positive person, I think you're going to experience that life is a more joyful and positive experience. And if you are someone who is constantly being negative or not being nice to people or just anything like that, like that's going to be the way you experience life in return.
Mm-hmm. And it's going to be how people perceive you and how people interact with you. And then like you just feed into that perception because you're like, well, this person like wasn't very nice to me, or this person like they are responding to your either like presence or your like how you interact with them, and then it just comes right back at you, and then you continue to just like reflect those bad vibes, the bad energy. So like at work, trying your best to be a positive person, a joy to work with, and then hopefully that comes back to you. Same thing with all of your other relationships. Last one I have
Number 25
is, I feel like we've maybe touched on this a little bit, but it's like a two-sided coin. You are simultaneously the main character and an NPC in your life, and you can use both to your advantage. So this is kind of touching on, no one cares about you as much as you do. Obviously, you are experiencing your life firsthand. Like, quite literally, you only have to worry about what happens to you. So whatever you want to do, what you want out of life, the experiences you have, like that is all up to you. And if you want to make it happen, you have to make it happen. On the flip side, life generally is not all about you. And people are experiencing their own main character energy. They have their whole lives going on. And so in that sense, no one cares what you're doing. No one is worried about you. And that can be a good thing too. People get so in their head of like, oh, what's so-and-so thinking of me? Probably nothing. And so being able to like take that in, like knowing the world is your oyster, and then like you don't have to worry about people like trying to hold you back and like do something to sabotage you, because like they don't care, generally speaking. So use it to your advantage and live life to the fullest.
All right, number 26. Most things are not as hard as they seem. You just need to start.
Oh, did I just copy that from you? I thought I looked at your list.
The one you said earlier was kind of similar to this. Okay. But I'd say just like in general, like you'd be amazed what you can do if you simply just like start to do said thing that you've been putting off. It could be as simple as like making that appointment you didn't want to set up because you don't want to call someone.
Give it 5 minutes. Not that hard.
And then it could expand to like bigger things as well.
Or it's like I don't know how a year from now I'm going to get to this place that I want to be. Okay, well, what does day 1 of like starting this look like? And just taking those initial steps.
And then eventually you're going to have taken multiple steps and you'll realize that like you've started the process.
Like, oh, okay, well, now I kind of see how I need to do this. I need to do X, Y, and Z. And like you just have different lists going and you kind of like see a path and a way forward.
Well, there we have it.
List of 26 things we have learned in 26 years. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. Feel free, if you have a nugget of wisdom you wish to share, whether you're watching the YouTube video or you want to comment on our Instagram post, leave it down below.
Thank you guys so much for watching, listening, wherever you're.
Thank you for the birthday wishes. For those of you who wished us happy birthday.
And we will talk to you guys next Thursday.
Bye.